there are some people that I've practiced with in the past that seem to just have this sort of superhuman ability to like, they just know what it's going to take to win a Magic tournament. One person that comes to mind is Kai Budde. He doesn't even play that much Magic anymore. Like he'll play one Pro Tour per year or something like that. But when you speak to him, he just kind of knows everything. I feel like I could sit down with Kai in a format that he's never played, where maybe he doesn't even know the cards, and I could give him like a 15-minute rundown of what's going on, and he'd be like, "Oh yeah, it seems like this is the answer. That these are the strategies people are going to come with, and this is how you're going to beat them." Like he just knows everything that it takes from step one to from step A to step Z. That like everything it's going to take to win a Magic tournament. And this is, I think, something that just comes from experience, from playing a lot.
You probably made some of those good calls too, right? Where you've advised somebody and it worked out, right? Are there any things that come to mind for that? Like just knowing, having like some, just being like Kai, basically.
Yeah, I've definitely noticed too that my intuitions have improved over the years. Like when I was younger, and people would say, "Oh, metagame this. You gotta be ahead of the metagame and pick a good deck for the metagame." And I was like, "What? Like, what? How do you do that? Do you just guess at what people are going to play? Like, how do you know what your opponents are going to come up with?" But now, after having played so many hundreds of tournaments, I have really good instincts. And actually, some of my teammates were like boasting about how accurately we had predicted the Pioneer field. And yeah, there's nothing like mystical about it. It's just you've been around and you've gone through the process of having to predict a metagame enough times that you kind of start to know what's important and have a feel for what people are going to show up with. And yeah, I also, even for decks that I have not played with a lot myself, I feel like I have good intuitions about things like mana base and sideboard cards, like what sideboard cards are going to give you the most mileage. Yeah, sideboarding is tricky because you can't simplify it. You can't just say like, well, what's the most popular deck? I'm going to have the most sideboard cards against that deck. You also can't say like, well, what's my worst matchup? I want a sideboard for that. You have to do these sort of intuitive balancing acts of like what cards are going to give me the largest marginal upgrades the most often and actually contribute to having higher expected win rate against a diverse field.